We are excited to be launching our next podcast series, which is interviewing Golden Hoodie winners from around the world who've got amazing trailblazer stories. A Golden Hoodie winner is somebody that Salesforce has recognised as being a true trailblazer, somebody who gives back but also is an expert in their domain. And we can't wait to share these stories with you. Tune in, listen, and be inspired at these amazing stories and give them kudos on social media for everything they've done. And what I would recommend is definitely tune in and follow in their footsteps. Enjoy, and we look forward to getting your feedback.
If your leadership team is pushing you to deploy Agentforce yesterday, you already know the real challenge isn't the AI itself. It's the environment you're building it on. To orchestrate autonomous workflows, you need to feed your agents deep, flawless context about your metadata and business processes. That's why Hubble created the intelligence layer. We give you total operational clarity, telling you exactly how to clean up and structure your org so your AI actually works. Stop guessing. Build Agentforce with absolute confidence at hubble.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Mums on Cloud 9 podcast. We are continuing our Golden Hoodie series, interviewing amazing Golden Hoodie winners across the globe and sharing their stories about how they've been true trailblazers in their community. Today I'm delighted to have Christina Nava with us, who is based in the USA and got her Golden Hoodie just last year at Dreamforce for being a Service Cloud Blazer. So Christina, tell us more about what that means in practice, and congratulations on getting your Golden Hoodie. It looks very shiny, I have to say.
Thank you. It's still shiny to me too. It's still very kind of in shock that they honored me this way. So it was definitely a shock. I was at the service keynote helping present some of the new AI stuff with setup for Service Cloud, and they, awarded it to me. And again, it was just a little bit of a shock. But I've been part of the Service Blazer community since the very beginning, and I was trying to rack my brain. I think that was 2019. It's gone through a couple of different names since then. So the award was basically for being such a big part of that community. And then also I am an admin. So it was kind of like the combination of the two they just honored me for doing that.
That's amazing. So when you say being part of that community, what does that look and feel like every day in order for them to go, Christina is the one getting the hoodie?
So I'm active on the Slack channel. Whenever we have a meeting, I'm there, helping people, communicating, talking. The Service Blazer community is a kind of a smaller subset, obviously, of the Salesforce Ohana. So those of us who have been in it for a long time, and we're pretty close. And it feels like having friends that I can go to whenever I have any questions, any issues. I don't have to deal with things on my own. It's because I used to be a solo admin, and a lot of times when you're a solo admin, you get very lost. So that was a really strong community I could go to. But it's definitely just being part of it. I'm there, I'm active, I'm interacting with everybody. And so that's what it means for me.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's really fascinating that you've obviously created quite a niche for yourself in Service Cloud, and that's become your product of choice. What's been your career path? How did you end up getting involved in Service Cloud and that becoming your thing?
So back in 2011, it was really when I was introduced to Salesforce as an end user. And I was doing tech support and then software consulting for a SaaS company. Then in 2014, I became the director of tech support for that company. And so because we were smallish, I became, what a lot of people like to call is an accidental admin. I like to call it an also admin, because you have your full-time job, but you're also the Salesforce admin.
I like that.
So that was my real introduction to, I just thought I was the best thing, man. I could do page layouts. I could create fields. I could do formulas, man. I just thought I knew everything about Salesforce back in 2014. And so because I was the head of
it was simpler then. It was simpler.
it was simpler. It was. But I will say, just between us and everybody listening, I tried to take the admin exam after about 6 months without studying. That did not go well.
Oh.
I realized how much I did not know.
Good effort though. Good effort.
Right? I thought I'd try. But because I was heading the tech support department, we of course were using cases and entitlements. So that was my first introduction to Service Cloud at the time. And it just tied everything I love together into one: software, Salesforce, helping people. And it just kind of was a really, really good conglomeration of everything.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, it's great to be on that career journey, but say it's the importance of training and learning. So how did you develop your skills and your knowledge then to kind of be where you are today?
As I said, in 2014, I did not. But then, because at that point in time, there was not any free training for Salesforce. It was right around that time, I think it was 2014, 2015, when Trailhead came out. So finally, there was real training for people. There was free training. So I just dove in. I still actually have my original sandbox that I created in 2014.
It's expired. Oh,
No,
great.
I make sure I log in. That's where I actually do the
Oh,
majority of my trails. Of
yeah.
course, if it tells you to create a new one, I create a new one. But that sucker's still chugging along, man. So I can kind of look at that date and I'm like, yeah, that's when I started. That's when I started that learning journey. But a lot of it obviously has been Trailhead and then just playing, doing it yourself. I was a Salesforce consultant for a boutique consulting firm. And I don't know if you've ever been consulting, but you just kind of get thrown into things and have to learn it. So that's a really, really good way to learn as well. A little stressful, but a really good way to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, isn't it, working as an end user versus a consultancy? I think it's different personality types. So those that love to, wing it to some degree, but learn on the job, like that fast and furious environment, definitely consultancy works for you. Whereas if you like the slow and steady and feeling comfortable in a place where you can sort of I suppose I liken it to the mother hen. Everything's around mums and super mums. But it's that mother hen, ever, it's my org and I'm going to look after it and I'm going to nurture everybody, then that's great for an end customer environment. I guess that's what you've got now, Christina. You're working for an end customer, is that right? You've got
Yep,
your baby org that you look after and mother.
exactly. Someone says a field, and I'm like, yep, I know what that does. I know where it is. I pretty much know when I created it, because I've been with these orgs. We actually have two orgs here at Gaggle. I've been with them from the beginning. So I've helped raise them. So I know all the ins and outs and all their quirks.
Yeah, absolutely. And why
It's
do you
very
have
good.
two orgs? Why do you have two orgs? What would be the use case for that?
So our specific use case is when we went live with our original org, which was January 1st of 2021, we were just using it for Sales Cloud. So I came in December of 2020. So we had already hired a consultant to build it all. And so I kind of came in at the end. And by the end of the year, I had us on Service Cloud because that is my specialty. So
Yeah.
I took us off of Zendesk and onto Service Cloud. And then for a couple of years, we were doing that pretty well. And what we do here at Gaggle is we do security monitoring software for schools. While we were doing that, the CEO noticed that there were so many children who just need mental help. And so we were able to flag children because of what we were seeing, but we weren't able to do anything about it. So we started another part of our company called Gaggle Therapy Services, where we help provide therapy and coaching to students.
Amazing.
So once we got into that, we now have HIPAA and a lot more PII, and we needed a lot more security around it. So instead of keeping everything in our main org, which to keep things easier, we call it Sales Cloud. They're both Salesforce, but one we call Sales Cloud. And then the other one we have Health Cloud. So that's where we have all of our student mental health information. That's where we do the scheduling. So the main reason we kept them separate was for security reasons. And we keep one org much, much, much tighter than the
Yeah.
other org.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. So what has been your biggest achievements in those roles then? It sounds like incredible what you're doing and how you're supporting kids. Like, what are you most proud of?
Oh, golly, so much. I know that sounds like kind of conceited, but
That's great.
like you said, you kind of look at them as your children and you look at where they are now and you're like, they've grown up. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good. Great.
but I will say recently, we had a new CTO start, and he told me that before our orgs, he did not have a lot of respect for Salesforce admins, and he did not like Salesforce. And then he saw our orgs and he goes, and it changed my mind.
Wow, well done.
So that was like, wow. Then in our Health Cloud org, I have a series of flows that I'm very proud of. So it allows either a district staff or a student to refer themselves for services. And it takes them all the way through the intake questions, asking the right things. Then it converts them to a person account. It sends all the emails. It does all the setup in the background. Our orgs are very, very automated. And so anytime I can take, someone spent 5 minutes doing this, I'm like, I can create a button that does that in 5 seconds. Let me do that for you. That's what we do a lot here.
Oh, and do you spend the time doing the business analyst to figure out those bits, or do you have a team that does that now?
So it's myself and a team of 2 under me. I would say I spend 80% of my time like BA plus building. Only 20% of my time is probably more at the director level and, kind of talking about what's going to go in the future and whatever. I do still spend a lot of my time in the weeds. So for the bigger projects, I am definitely the BA.
So is it just yourself, Christina, that's doing this work and sort of identifying those areas to improve things, or have you got a team that works with you now?
So I have a team of 2 and they're amazing. I love them. They do such a good job. What we tend to do is I tend to hold most of the BPRs, especially the more difficult projects. So I'll ask the majority of the questions and do the design document. They are learning and training on how to do that. So within the last year or two, anything that is smaller, I have given to them to do so they can start building those muscles, because anything you do, I kind of liken to, working out. You have to build that muscle. You're normally not good at it when you first start. So again, I do tend to do the BPRs, the design documents. And then if it's really complex or something that I built from the ground up, I'll still tend to actually do the build. But then I'd probably say 3/4 of the time I am pushing the build off to Nick or Colleen on my team.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, it's great that you seem to be very actively involved in mentoring people as well and building people up. So I
I
think
love
that's one
it.
of some of the other volunteer roles that you've been doing. Is that right?
I love mentoring. I love guiding. I love helping people be the best that they can be, whether that be personally, professionally. It's seeing someone happy and excited and where they should be is really fulfilling for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's great, isn't it? So I think it's something that's really prevalent in the Salesforce Ohana is
Mhm.
how much people support people. So going back to that point about you being in the Slack channel and supporting each other, I think it is all about giving back, bringing the next generation up. And we've certainly seen at Supermums, we have incredible people who are mentors for our trailblazers coming through, and then they become long-term friends over many years, and you see them grow up as well. So you're
Exactly.
not just your system that's a kid, it's your trainees, it's your learners, your team.
Yep. And when I started in 2014 with that, my also admin, I used to be very shy. Luckily, I'm not anymore. And it was hard for me to kind of put myself out there. But I immediately got involved with Girly Geeks, which is what the Women in Tech used to be called.
Oh, right.
And I found my group. I found women who could support me and mentor me and hold me up and hold me accountable. And that's what really helped me grow in the Salesforce ecosystem. And now I'm actually co-leader of the Houston Women in Tech group.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
It's nice. I mean, it's great to see all like those opportunities, obviously, to take a leadership role because I'm quite an introvert as well. I'm quite shy. And so I actually already always do better when I'm in a leadership type role. Because then it's not about you actively going and not knowing anybody when you take a leadership role. You have a reason to talk to people and for people to talk to
Yeah.
you, and it makes it a lot easier actually from that point of view. So, it's amazing that you get involved in those communities, but I'd highly recommend a sort of role like that for anybody that's a little bit shy or, wanting, but likes to give back and wants to support. Makes absolute sense. So moving
Absolutely.
on to the next topic around AI, how are you feeling about AI? Is it something you're using in your projects, in your systems at the moment? What's your view on it all?
I have opposing views all within myself at one time. So
Mm.
I do use ChatGPT and Claude. I use it for personal reasons and professional reasons. Like, hey, ChatGPT, it's July in Houston. What should I plant in my garden? here's a photo of my plants, what's killing them, to I want to plan a trip, help me plan a trip. So I definitely use it for personal reasons. And then professional, definitely using it as well. Help me rewrite this email. I've had it analyze Slack messages and emails for tone. It's like, is this meaning what I think it means? Or how could I have said that better? So helping me grow and get better.
Yeah.
And then actual Salesforce work, I've had it not doing this a ton yet, kind of getting into it, record a meeting with the transcript, give it the transcripts, like, all right, help me build my design document. And so save me some time with that. Or after it did that, or I'll give it my design documents, like help me write my user testing. And so it has helped me save time like that.
Yeah, I
It's
love it.
obviously not perfect. Help me write a test class for my my trigger. So I don't like it necessarily to help me write Apex classes and triggers because it can do a lot wrong. But test classes, it's usually because you're giving it. So I'm a little more comfortable with that. As for Agent Force, it it's changing so fast. I think it has such potential. And for the larger teams and the bigger companies that can really devote the time to it right now, I think it's great. But for a smaller team like us, I don't have time personally to go spend 40 hours just learning Agent Force. And my concern is because it is changing so fast that anything I build right now is going to be obsolete in 3, 6 months. So, do I want to spend that time learning it and not building other stuff that can be immediate ROI for my users? Do I want to spend that time building it right now on something that's going to change in 3 to 6 months? Now, I have started to see it stabilize, for lack of a better word, in the last month or so. So I think my fear or my concerns are probably going to be less by the end of the year. But like Agent Force Coworker, it was just like that to set it up, an immediate working. And I'm like, all right, I'm actually going to be setting it up for my org probably next week. So that right there, that's what I'm saying is that's what I expected Agent Force to be a year ago. But it's finally there.
Oh, not met your expectations yet.
Not yet, but it's getting there. It really is.
Well, that's it. There's always going to be the early emergers, right? That are early adopters that take on board and try it. But you're right, all of these products go through that iterative stage in the bugs. And I think for the smaller orgs, you're right. They need to take it on when it's more mature and all of that learning stage has been worked through because you can't carry that cost. And that's certainly the feedback I'm hearing from organizations that are they want to be the trailblazers, right? There's those orgs that want to sign up, that want to be the pilots, that want the herald at the trailblazer events. So it makes sense. And have you thought about any other AI agents that isn't Agent Force, or would Agent Force be the only one that you would consider?
With our Salesforce org, we are really just considering Agent Force because we already have the licensing for it. So we are a smaller company and we don't want to pay for something else when we already have the licensing for Agent Force.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Stay with the glue. And it probably, because of the nature of the type of work you do, it creates that it's all within the security of it as well, and the
Yes.
governance. So it does make sense.
Yeah, we have to be very careful with security here.
Yeah, great. No, I love all those different reflections of AI, and it's really interesting some of the use cases you're using, the meeting transcripts for using AI to summarize that as a BA. Like I think that's one of the areas that we've
Yep.
been very much encouraging our audience to think about and use. So thank you for bringing that to the table. And as you say, we'll keep watching and listening with the agents, and we've been going through that process of learning about all the prep work you need to do for building agents, and that in itself is quite a lot of work, so it's even just starting on that journey, isn't it?
Yeah. And even with my orgs, which are pretty clean, to be honest, we spend a lot of time cleaning up duplicates and making sure things are clean in that manner. But even then, there's still more prep work than you would think.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, isn't it? And it's an area of specialism, like you say, you can't learn everything these days, and I think just reflecting on where we started and where you got your golden hoodie, the main thing is be really great at learning some certain niches. So it sounds like Service Cloud, obviously you've got Health Cloud under your hat as well, knowing and understanding those areas. You can't be the jack of all trades. What you can do is brilliant at others. So for those listening, and it sounds like you've really embedded yourself into different community groups to give you that community and that confidence around you, where would you say they should look to source that sense of community? The Slack group you mentioned, is that a public Slack group, Christina, that other people can join?
Absolutely. So I'm part of actually actually more than that, but two main Slack groups. There's the Service Blazer community Slack group, and then there is the Ohana Slack. So Ohana Slack is basically anyone in the Salesforce ecosystem, thousands upon thousands of people in there. It's a great, great resource. Service Blazer is if you want to be part of the Service Blazer community. And I'm sorry, I don't have the URL off the top of my head, but it's also on LinkedIn. And so you can reach out to the Service Blazer community on LinkedIn and get an invite to it. So that's obviously a much smaller community, but they're both equally great and I use them for different things.
Great. No, they're great tips. Thank you so much for sharing those. It's not a resource actually we've shared out before. So we'll be adding those to our list for our community as well.
Excellent.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Christina, and sharing your journey. And congratulations on bringing up two well-grown children that your CEO is very proud of. You've got a stellar CV and definitely your trailblazer story. So it's been a pleasure chatting to you today and sharing that with our audience.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast show with another story to unfold. So see you all soon.